Right now at 6, an armed robber terrorizes a Portland pet store.
But the guy then, I think, hit Cavi with the butt of the gun across the face pretty hard.
And we're coming up on a year since a door plug blew out of a plane over Portland.
Yes, we are emergency. We are depressurized.
The lessons learned and the ongoing litigation.
Mostly about the systemic problem at Boeing, which is jeopardizing the lives of the entire traveling public.
Plus, serious flu cases skyrocket in Oregon.
The season isn't over yet. In fact, it may not even be halfway over.
What doctors say you need to know to help keep your family healthy. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko.
And I'm Christine Pitawanich. We begin with a scary situation at a Portland small business where a man robbed a pet store at gunpoint and assaulted one of the employees.
Let's get right to John Adams live in the Montevilla neighborhood. So, John, walk us through what we know here.
Well, David and Christine, the robbery happened just across the street from us at the Personal Beast pet store off of Southeast Start, just west of 82nd. Here's some security camera video of the incident. A man entered the store with a gun around 4:45 p.m. last night. He pointed the weapon at a customer before demanding money out of the register. The man then hit an employee in the head with the butt of the gun and fired a shot as they ripped the cash register from the drawer and took around $150 cash. The suspect got away before police arrived. According to owner Sarah Philbrook, the store has had to deal with broken windows and shoplifting before, but never an incident like this. Philbrook says none of the animals were injured, and the employee that was assaulted is still shaken up and is at home recovering from the ordeal.
I mean, having a gun in your face, having a gun shot near your feet, being that close to losing your life or your dog over $150, I think that it's still sort of sinking in for her.
Philbrook says there has been an outpouring of support on social media from their loyal customers here in the Montevilla neighborhood. And despite the incidents over the last few years, the store would never consider leaving the neighborhood. Now, Portland police have taken parts of that cash register involved in the incident back to their lab in hopes of being able to obtain some sort of fingerprints that may help lead them to the suspect. David, Christine, back to you.
Hope they find whoever's responsible. So glad no one was hurt. Thank you, John. Just into the KGW newsroom, a man accused of murdering a Portland hotel security guard more than 2 years ago has now reportedly had his murder charge dropped.
You may remember in May 2022, 22-year-old Sir Charles Jones was patrolling outside the Marriott Residence Inn on the South Waterfront when he was shot and killed. In February of this year, Cedric Washington Jr. was arrested and charged with Jones' murder. However, the Oregonian reports that after some 10 months in jail, that murder charge has been dropped. Instead, Washington appeared in court and reportedly pleaded guilty to a charge of hindering prosecution and was sentenced to 3 years probation. We're working to find out more details about the case and to confirm if there are any other suspects. We'll keep you posted. In your headlines, the death of a woman whose body was found in an RV in Wilsonville New Year's Eve is now being investigated as a homicide. The state medical examiner's office has identified the victim as 41-year-old Catherine Cross. Authorities say they responded to a medical call to the RV around 7 Tuesday night near Southwest Nike Drive and Boone's Ferry. Investigators have not said how Cross died, nor have they identified any potential suspects.
An accused prolific graffiti vandal in Portland made his first court appearance today. 40-year-old James Fischel is charged with multiple counts of criminal mischief. This morning in the courtroom, he hid his face from cameras. He was arrested yesterday at his home in East Portland's Centennial neighborhood, and it was there that back in June, investigators say they found more than $10,000 worth of spray paint. Fischel was released from jail with his next court date in March. He also has a trial next month in Klamath Falls on felony marijuana-related charges.
In Albany, a 27-year-old woman who was arrested for posing as a minor and attempting to register for school has now been formally charged. Investigators say Michaela Craig is a registered sex offender. On December 13th, authorities say she tried to enroll at South Albany High and claimed to be 15. Staff grew suspicious. They called police, who arrested Craig shortly after, though released her without charges. This week, she was charged with forgery, computer crime, and making a false sworn statement.
There is another dispute between an Oregon healthcare provider and a major insurance company. As of January 1st, Salem Health is no longer in network for Regents members. For months, both sides have been public about their inability to agree on the amount their Regents should pay Salem Health. Regents says Salem Health has refused to back down from a steep price jump. Salem Health says Regents has not agreed to, quote, fair market terms, comparing its contract to ones with other insurance providers.
And Oregon is now the 7th state in the country with a ban on the sale of fluorescent lights. State lawmakers passed the law in 2023, citing environmental and health concerns over mercury found inside. Stores and suppliers in Oregon will no longer carry replacement bulbs, which means you'll likely have to switch to LEDs. In Washington, most long tube fluorescent lights are currently banned, although a full ban will not take effect until 2029. Celine?
David, well, we've been seeing a pretty wet Friday. We've been dealing with the rain all day long. We finally got a little bit of a break as we got later on into the day. And right now it's looking nice out there, sitting at 44 degrees, those winds blowing at 11 miles per hour. But over the course of the day, again, that rain was pushing through the area. We were dealing with the snow, with the ice in the mountains. Things have improved as we've gotten later on into the evening, but you can expect to see some of those scattered showers continuing throughout our evening and into tomorrow. So here's what we're going to be dealing with. Our next system moves in early Saturday. Right by late morning, we should be seeing that rain hitting our area. Again, snow in the Cascades too. The most snowfall expected to fall by Saturday night. We still have that winter weather advisory in effect for those regions too, but that rain continues through Saturday. Sunday, we have another little system that's going to push through our area by Sunday evening, bringing more rain and showers to our area. But then you'll see by Monday, things are going to start to dry up, and it'll stay like that for at least a few more days. But checking out that winter weather advisory again, we could be seeing up to 8 inches of snow on the passes. In those higher elevations, it could get up to 18 inches of snow. So keep that in mind if you're traveling in those regions. So for tomorrow, expect your day to start mostly dry at 43. We hit the 50s tomorrow, but that's when the rain starts. And again, rain all the way through the evening. But we'll talk about when it finally gets dry a little bit later.
Okay, thank you so much, Celine.
Scared everyone. It didn't matter where you were sitting on the plane. It was terrifying because it's not what you want to have happen on any flight that you're on.
Do you remember? It was nearly a year ago that a door plug blew out of a Boeing 737 MAX plane at 16,000 feet as it left Portland. The Alaska Airlines flight returned safely to PDX, as you just saw, with a gaping hole in its side. The scare prompted a nationwide grounding of Boeing MAX aircraft, audits at Boeing, and federal hearings.
I mean, who could forget? Let's get right to Evan Watson in the newsroom. Evan, you covered the aftermath of this extensively. We should note the NTSB investigation is still underway. What is Boeing now saying about the changes it's made since?
Yeah, David, Boeing says it's made strides in safety and quality control over the last year, but the company still faces multiple investigations and lawsuits. The blowout incident exposed cost-cutting and oversight issues at Boeing.
Yes, we are emergency. We are depressurized.
1 year ago, a door plug blowout shocked the country. An Alaska Airlines flight forced to make an emergency landing back in Portland. A boy's shirt ripped off his body from the force. Other passengers said they were glad it wasn't worse.
There was thankfully no one seated near the window.
NTSB investigators pointed the blame at the plane's maker, Boeing. 4 bolts that should have held the door plug in place were missing.
Post-accident evidence showed that the retaining bolts were not installed.
Parts of the plane fell from the sky, landing in southwest Portland. The door itself crashing to a teacher's backyard.
This is the most exciting thing that's ever happened on the street. The trees acted like an airbag and made for a longer stop and a lower force.
In response, the FAA capped production of Boeing 737 MAX 9 planes to 38 per month. It audited the company, encouraging employee safety reports and promoting a whistleblowing program at Boeing. Now Boeing says it's on track with a new safety and quality improvement plan, highlighting 4 areas: investing in workforce training, simplifying plans and processes, eliminating defects, and elevating our safety and quality culture. The company publishing photos and examples of its changes. Still, Boeing faces several lawsuits from dozens of passengers injured or scarred from the in-flight emergency.
The negligence by Boeing is so clear-cut.
FAA Administrator Mike Whitaker responding to Boeing's safety plan by saying the company is making progress, but this is not a one-year project. What's needed is a fundamental cultural shift at Boeing that's oriented around safety and quality above profits.
The NTSB's final investigation report on the door plug blowout is still pending. Attorneys told us they expect that to be released in the coming months. David?
Yeah, still a work in progress on many fronts 1 year on. Thank you, Evan. Well, to an update and finally some good news to share in Skamania County, where the sheriff's office says search and rescue says it's now mission ready thanks to tens of thousands of dollars in donations.
Yeah, so you may remember over Christmas that team spent 3 days searching for and eventually recovering the bodies of 2 men who died while hiking. Now at the same time, thieves had cut through a fence and stole thousands of dollars of gear from their trailers. But thanks to community donations, the nonprofit team says they have replaced all the stolen equipment, upgraded some old gear, and started planning security improvements.